I remember growing up and I thought that I had ADHD. I would be in school, couldn't focus on the class, couldn't do my homework. I used to fall asleep in between class, and I thought that it was because I had ADHD. My mind didn't work like all the other kids' minds, right? It was harder for me to focus and it was harder for me to get work done. And the truth is that it wasn't that I had ADHD. It was that I had no structure within my day to actually get the most out of my productivity. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys the exact system that you should follow, right? That I personally followed to 100x my daily productivity. And this is the exact system that took my life from going like this to where I would wake up. There's a video of me right here, 10 a.m. in the morning, wake and bake, right? Smoke the weed, smoke the pen. Here I'm in college, right? I thought I was being productive, right? I'm doing schoolwork. I have all these vices, right? I'm smoking weed. And right here we have like a to-do list that I made back in the day. And as you can see, I have like 20 different tasks of like really meaningless nothings that I thought I was being productive with every time I checked off that box, right? It was always just about checking off the box for me. And I was faking myself into thinking that I was being productive when I really wasn't. Over here in the early stages of my personal development, I started reading more books. Once again, reading books while smoking. I thought I was doing something, right? Over here, I'm doing a project for school, diet and nutrition. Once again, smoking, speak quarantine times. I'm over here doing three things at once. So I'm writing a research paper, doing some graphic design, and smoking at the same time. So I thought I was accomplishing so much when in reality, I was doing actually very little. What you guys are going to see in this video is that it's not about how many things you can do at once. It's about the intensity that you can bring to each and every single one of your tasks and how efficient you can be. The first step to actually 100xing your daily productivity is to understand what kills your momentum. Write a list if you have to. What are all of the things that you do early in the day that kill your momentum every time? Most of us wake up, we check the phone, we look through people's Instagram stories, right? We scroll, we doom scroll. Sometimes you would do that and then go back to sleep, right? Before you know it, you already checked everybody's story and now you're finally getting out of bed. This is going to kill your momentum. You're supplying your brain with too much dopamine off the wake up. So the first thing you would have to do is eliminate your phone use for the first 30 minutes to 1 hour of waking. Keep the phone across from you in the room, right across the room, and don't go on it until 30 minutes to an hour after waking. The second mistake that most people do is they start to eat right away. The truth is, you don't really deserve that food. There's no reason why you need to wake up and the first thing you need to do before you even make your bed is to eat right away. And I used to do that, right? I used to go straight to the kitchen, right? After, of course, I would hit my wax pen. I would get the munchies, go straight to the kitchen, make my breakfast, eat, all before I even made my bed. That was killing my momentum because when you eat in the morning, think about it from an animalistic perspective, right? When you eat early in the morning, you're basically telling your body that, okay, our mission is basically accomplished for the most part because your body, your mind is still in this animalistic state where it believes that we're still hunter and gatherers, that we need to eat to survive, which is true to an extent. But when you don't have food so easily accessible to you, right? When you give it some time, your brain needs to come up with ways to actually earn that food, right? So back in the day, the men would go out to hunt, right? They would put in that work, and then the food would be like the reward that they get for putting in the work. Now, obviously, we live in the modern day, so we're not gonna go out and hunt, but what you should be doing, which I'm gonna get into later in this video, is having a couple things that you do early in the morning that are challenging, that tells your brain like, yeah, we just earned that food that we're about to have. Okay? So eliminate eating right away. And the next mistake that most people make is they drink coffee right away. And this is another one that I used to do. I would wake up, have brain fog, go straight for the coffee cup. But when you wake up, your cortisol levels are at their highest, right? And it's like this from a biological perspective to keep you alert, right? That's what causes you to wake up. Now, coffee is a stimulant and it raises cortisol as well. So when you drink coffee first thing in the morning, you're gonna spike your cortisol so high, and that's why you have that crash by the time afternoon comes, right? You don't want to have coffee within the first 2 hours of waking. Coffee is great. I drink like 3 cups a day, but I don't have my first cup until at least 2 hours after I woke up. And the next thing would be having no purpose. Going back to days when we were in school, right? Sometimes when school was off and we didn't really have a reason to wake up early in the morning, what would we do? We would sleep in, right? We would sleep in because we really didn't have no reason to wake up. That's the truth, right? If you have a job and you're off that day, what are you gonna do? What do most people do when they're off at their job? They sleep in, right? Because they don't have a real reason for waking up in the morning. But when your purpose is so great and it's beyond just going to school or just going to work, when you actually have something that you're striving for every single day, that gives you the momentum that you need to hop right out of bed. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that I wake up out of bed every single day like SpongeBob SquarePants, right? Or hyped up and shit. I don't do that. But having purpose and having a clear understanding of where I'm headed keeps me waking up and getting out of bed every single morning. The last thing that will kill your momentum is over planning or under planning. So if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? And I truly agree with that. You should plan out your next day ahead of time, right? You should know what you're doing tomorrow, today. But you also shouldn't over plan. Like I showed you guys in this picture, when I was just starting on my personal development journey, I thought I was being productive by having 25 different tasks on my to-do list every single day. But really, I was just over planning and over complicating the process. And as a result, I wasn't really getting much done, as you could see, because your brain goes into the state of paralysis analysis. So avoid over planning, but make sure you don't under plan as well. The next step to 100xing your daily productivity is to understand that there is no direction without destination. So this goes back to having purpose, right? You need to understand who do you actually want to become and what do you want to accomplish? Because if you don't know where you're headed, then how are you going to have direction, right? The directions come from the destination. If there is no destination, there is no direction. So create 5 goals that you want to accomplish within the next 3 to 6 months that align with the man that you want to become. These 5 goals should be something that you can really like lock in and achieve. It can be financial goals, personal fitness goals, spiritual goals, social confidence goals, whatever the best version of you looks like in the next 3 to 6 months. Create 5 goals that revolve around the man that you want to become. So whether this is you want to gain 5 pounds, lose 5 pounds, maybe you want to add some weight to your bench press, maybe you want to run a fucking marathon, maybe you want to increase your income, create your goals and make them as specific as possible, right? Don't just say, I want to be more fit. What does that look like? How much weight are you trying to put on? What accomplishments are you really striving for? Now, this is going to be the fuel for you getting up every morning because this is your purpose. This is your destination. Every day starts with the night before. Your morning starts the night before. So every night, what you want to do is you want to plan out the next day, right? You're going to write down your morning routine, okay? Because if you win the morning, then you are going to set yourself up for success to win the day. So right here on the top right, that's my morning routine every single day. And I write it out. Like this is from my system that I have for myself and my clients. So I put it on the computer and I write it on pen and paper as well. My morning routine, I wake up same time every single day, 5:30. I make my bed, I hydrate with 32 ounces of lemon water and sea salt. I do 50 push-ups, I do a cold shower, and then I pray, right? That's my morning routine every single day. Okay. So these tasks are going to set me up for success and they're going to put me into the state of taking action, right? When you wake up, you check your phone, you're worried about what everybody else is doing. You put yourself in a state of consuming, right, and not creating. So you need to get into a flow state. Another thing that you could do and add to your morning routine is you could read or listen to proper mindset content to reprogram your mind. Now, this is especially important in the beginning of your personal development journey because in the beginning, you almost need to brainwash yourself to unlearn all of the bad habits you had in the past and to relearn positive ones, right? Relearn that positive mindset. So I recommend watching videos, right, from people who genuinely inspire you and motivate you that you want to become like. Watch their videos, listen to it, read books, write self-improvement books, and this will start to reprogram your mind subconsciously. Make sure whatever you do, your morning routine has some sort of physical activity because blood oxidation will put you in a high vibration. Okay. When I wake up, I do my 50 push-ups, it gets the blood flowing, right? So it doesn't matter if I woke up 5:30, I'm already feeling energized, right? I'm already feeling clear-minded. So now you don't have to run a marathon, but you should do some sort of physical activity. I like the 50 push-ups. If you want to go for a run, you can go ahead. You could go for a walk. You could do some jumping jacks. You could do some burpees. Just do some sort of physical activity. Get the heart rate pumping for a little while, and then you'll be set. Now, what I personally do and all my clients do is a 4-step morning routine that puts you in a state of taking action and sets you up for success. So I just broke down right there my morning routine. All my clients have their own morning routine. Come up with your own. You could copy mine if you want, go for it, but create a system that you could follow every single day and actually stick to it. The next step is going to be only focus on what matters. So don't write 20 tasks to do every single day. Keep your list concise, right? Keep your to-do list very concise. When you write 20 different tasks that you have to do, you're gonna end up not doing much at all, right? And you're just gonna put your brain into this like anxiety mode. You're gonna try to rush through certain things because you're gonna try to get everything done, and you're gonna go into paralysis analysis. So plan ahead, right? Like I said, every night, think about what are the most 5 daily needle moving tasks you have to do for the next day that's going to bring you closer to your 5 goals. So if my 5 goals were something like I'm trying to add 10 pounds to my weighted pull up, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds, I'm trying to make 2K extra income every single month, and I want to strengthen my relationship with God, right? If those are my 5 goals, then my 5 daily tasks may be something like, hit the gym, right? Do my pull-ups, hit my macros, go for a walk, pray. So your 5 daily needle moving tasks need to be the most important tasks that actually bring you closer to your goals. It shouldn't be just like busy work, right? It shouldn't be something like go buy clothes or go grocery shopping. So with every action that you take, ask yourself, does it bring you closer to or further from your goal, right? And if it brings you further from your goal, then discard it, right? Only focus on the tasks that actually bring you closer to those 5 goals that you created, okay? And the next step is going to be to operate like a CEO. So you could have the best to-do list in the world, but it won't matter if you don't structure out your time, you don't structure out your day to actually get the tasks done accordingly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a Google Calendar with everything that you must do every single day scheduled out. I know I used to hate schedules when I was in college and it was time to actually make my schedule. I used to get panic attacks, right? The reason why was because I was just unstructured person. But once you actually make the schedule, you take the time, you make the schedule, it will make everything so much easier for you because you eliminate all the guessing. Your phone will tell you, oh, what do I have to do now? Oh, I have to do this task. Oh, I have to do this task. Okay, it's time to eat, right? And you're going to live by your calendar, right? You're going to know exactly when you have free time and when you don't, right? And what you should be doing every single hour of the day. So when you make your calendar, I strongly suggest to integrate multiple uninterrupted deep work sessions into your day. These are basically going to be time blocks, right? Depending on where you are in the journey, your time block may be longer, your time block may be shorter, right? I like to do 120-minute time blocks, so like 2 hours, 2 hours of uninterrupted deep work. What deep work is, if you don't know, is essentially you put your phone away, right? You just lock in, you focus on one task that you have to do, and you give the task all of your intensity for the designated time. If you're just starting out, you may have to do only 30-minute deep work sessions, and then you could progressively overload that just like you do in the gym, from 30 minutes to 45 to 1 hour to 1 hour and a half to 2 hours, etc. Right? And you're gonna find that you're gonna be way more productive because you're not wasting time on things that I like to call energy vampires. Now, what are energy vampires? Things like porn, video games, mindless scrolling, drugs, spending time with people who don't bring you closer to your goals. All of these are energy vampires because they suck out all of the energy that you have. Every morning, you wake up with a limited amount of energy and a limited amount of drive. The more energy vampires, the less and less energy that you will have to actually focus on what really matters. So it's time to cut out all the distractions, cut off the porn, cut off the video games, the mindless scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, the drugs, the alcohol, and this one, a lot of people miss this one, is spending time with people who don't bring you closer to your goals. Sometimes we tell ourselves like, oh, we're being social, right? So technically we're being productive because we're being social. But are the people that you hang out with taking you farther away from your goals? Or you just hanging out and like wasting time with them? Nothing like you don't even feel that great after spending time with them? Or do you feel better about yourself after spending time with them and you know that you did something, you got something out of that situation? So it is very important to cut out all of those energy vampires from your life. Now, bonus is something I like to call the limitless protocol. This is my personal routine that clears up all my brain fog and allows me to lock in. Like this is some next level shit. So the first step is very basic. You're gonna do 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. If you don't have enough sleep, none of this is actually gonna matter, right? So make sure you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. You can improve the quality of your sleep just by going to sleep earlier and by taking magnesium before bed and by reducing blue light before bed, right? This is going to help the quality of your sleep. Now, once you wake up, you're going to intermittent fast the first 3 to 4 hours of the day, right? Food does slow you down, right? Food is a tool, but like I said before, like you need to earn that food. So for the first 3 to 4 hours of the day, you're going to intermittent fast. You're not going to eat anything, okay? Now, when you do break fast, you're gonna break the fast with a high protein, moderate fat, and a low to no carb meal. Okay? Carbs in the morning will give you brain fog. Okay? I used to eat so much bread and just sandwiches for breakfast because it was normal in my family, and then I wondered why I was falling asleep by the time noon came, right? And it's because of the carbs. So when you break your fast, you can break it with some eggs, an avocado, some maybe a little bit of fruit, but that's it, right? Don't overload the carbs. And make sure you prioritize whole foods. If you're eating a whole bunch of processed foods, that will definitely kill your energy, give you brain fog, and kill your productivity. Okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting. When you wake up in the morning after your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, what you're gonna do is within like 25 minutes of waking, you're going to take 400 milligrams of Talca Ali. Okay, this raises your testosterone and helps you lock in. You're going to take 3.5 grams of L-citrulline. This is going to help promote the blood flow in your body, which speeds up your metabolism, gets more blood going to the brain, and allows you to concentrate better. And then 750 milligrams of L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine is a precursor to dopamine, right? And when your dopamine is high, you lock in on the task that you have to do. So L-tyrosine has been a cheat code for me. I've been taking it for over a year, and it's definitely changed my life. But these supplements won't work if you don't prioritize these aspects first. Make sure you prioritize these principles first and then take the supplements, right? They need to be taken on an empty stomach for the simple fact that L-citrulline and L-tyrosine are amino acids, which means that if you take the amino acids with protein, for example, your body's gonna compete for amino acid absorption and it's not gonna fully absorb the supplements that you take. So that's another reason why you have to intermittent fast while doing the limitless protocol. If you really want that extra energy, is a butter coffee or cold brew 2 hours upon waking. The butter coffee is going to give you the smooth type of energy that lasts throughout the day. It doesn't give you a crash, or you do the cold brew straight up. So this entire protocol is all you need to 100x your daily productivity. If you follow this to a T, I guarantee you're going to clear your brain fog. You're going to be able to lock in for multiple hours. You're going to get way more things done. You're going to do better at work, and you're not going to feel like you're just wasting your days with busy work, right? You're going to be a better, high performing man in general, right? So make sure you follow the protocol, you follow the 5 for 5 method, 5 goals, 4-step morning routine, 5 daily needle movement tasks, and then you follow all the principles that are listed in this video as well. If you guys like educational videos like this or you have any more questions, just leave a comment or hit me up on Instagram. The link will be in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay dangerous.